The last bus in Okinawa always arrives at 11:47 p.m., but the driver never remembers stopping, even though passengers keep getting on. Late at night, Okinawa's streets become quiet. Most tourists return to their hotels, locals go home, and the city slowly falls silent, except for one bus route, the late bus that runs through Naha toward Shuri Castle. Hiroshi had been driving buses for almost 20 years. Nothing about the job surprised him anymore. Drunk passengers, tourists getting lost, people falling asleep and missing their stop. But the late route, that one was strange. The bus left Naha Station every night at exactly 11:47 p.m. Almost nobody rode it, usually just one or two passengers. One night, Hiroshi noticed someone waiting at a stop he rarely used. A woman. She wore an old-fashioned kimono. That wasn't unusual during festivals. But there were no festivals that night. The woman stepped onto the bus without saying a word. She sat in the back. Hiroshi glanced at her in the mirror. She stared out the window, completely still. 10 minutes later, Hiroshi stopped at another quiet bus stop. Another passenger got on, an old man. He didn't say anything either, just walked to the back and sat down. Soon the bus had 5 passengers, then 7, then 10. Hiroshi frowned. He didn't remember stopping that many times. In fact, he didn't remember seeing half the stops. The road suddenly felt unfamiliar. The street lights looked older, dimmer. He checked the mirror again. All the passengers were staring forward, not talking, not moving, just watching him. Hiroshi cleared his throat. Next stop, Shuri Castle. No one responded, but the bus suddenly felt colder. The windows fogged slightly. Hiroshi rubbed his arms. Strange, he muttered. Then he noticed something terrifying. The road ahead no longer looked modern. The buildings were gone. Instead, old wooden houses lined the street. Hiroshi's heart began racing. What? He slammed the brakes. The bus stopped in the middle of an empty road. The passengers slowly stood up, one by one, and walked toward the front. As the first passenger reached him, Hiroshi finally saw her face clearly, the woman in the kimono. Her skin was pale, her eyes were hollow, and her clothes were wet with mud, like she had crawled out of the ground. "Thank you for the ride," she whispered. Then she stepped off the bus, but there was no bus stop, just darkness. One by one, the other passengers followed, the old man, the silent figures, all stepping off the bus into nothing. When the last passenger left, Hiroshi sat alone in the driver's seat. The bus doors slowly closed, and suddenly the road returned. Modern buildings, bright street lights, the normal streets of Naha. Hiroshi stared at the rearview mirror. Every seat was empty. He drove back to the station in silence. The next morning, Hiroshi asked his supervisor about the route. The man looked confused. "There used to be an old road there," he said, "but it was destroyed during the war." Hiroshi felt the blood drain from his face. "Destroyed when?" The supervisor shrugged. "During the Battle of Okinawa. Thousands of people died there. Hiroshi never drove the late route again. But the bus still runs every night at 11:47, and sometimes passengers still get on. Even though no one is waiting at the stop,